Hey everyone, me Kevin here with a stimulus update just in from Donald Trump and an update in from the Federal Reserve. By the way, about a week ago, we heard Donald Trump almost confirm stimulus checks with a 99% degree of certainty the way he responded to the question last week. Well, Donald Trump was just interviewed and doubled down on his confirmation that we should expect additional stimulus checks. This is a new interview from July 8th. Here's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to quickly mention that you should get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes and get your free stocks with Webull when you deposit just $100. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a breakdown of what Donald Trump said. I'm going to give a breakdown of what the Federal Reserve said, and then I'm going to play the clip at the end. So, and then I'll show you where you can watch the rest of it and all that. Okay, let's get right into it. President Trump was asked, "Can Americans expect more stimulus checks from you?" And Trump said, quote, "The answer is yes. We're working on it right now with Congress." The reporter went on to say, she kind of voice-overed, that Trump didn't say how much, but said, quote, "I want more than other people want to do, but it'll be significant numbers, great for the people of the country." The reporter suggested with a voiceover that Trump's payroll tax cut is non-negotiable, and when she asked Trump about that, Trump responded, quote, "If the bill didn't include what we think it would need as far as the economy and jobs, I would absolutely veto it, yes." So this is good. I mean, we have a confirmation here, and again, it's only Donald Trump, right? And I mean, Donald Trump is the president, but this is a confirmation from one of the most powerful people in Capitol Hill right now saying, yes, we're working on another round of stimulus checks. Now, we've heard that Mitch McConnell suggest the $40,000 figure. It's very interesting that maybe Donald Trump is not only referring to Democrats when Donald Trump says he wants larger numbers, but maybe he's also referring to that conservative coalition within the White House and within the Senate that might want to see stimulus checks get ratcheted down to only those making $40,000 or less. This morning, I posted a video breaking down the three factions in the White House. The war hawks with China, not necessarily war, but trade war, right? The conservatives and the Wall Street Republicans. Trump, Mnuchin, the people pro-stimulus, ironically, seem to be the Wall Street Republicans. Watch that video. I'll link it. I'll put a little link up here, a bubble, and I'll link it down below as well. But for now, this is overall good news again from Donald Trump. It sort of reiterates that confirmation and it freshens up that conversation, especially coming right after Mitch McConnell says, yeah, you know, we're looking at those stimulus checks as well, but we're thinking of ratcheting that number down to $40,000. And we also heard that other Republicans are also in agreement that, yeah, maybe there's a consensus that we should scroll this down to $40,000. Trump is clearly against that, but for stimulus checks. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions in the comments because I do read your comments. I know that many of you want to punch me in the face. I don't know, maybe I talk too fast. I don't know what it is. But anyway, what a lot of you ask about in the comments is whether or not essential workers are going to be receiving anything. My expectation right now is not good for essential workers. That is, right now it sounds like additional pay for essential workers is kind of dead in the water. Here's why. Essential workers would receive $13 per hour as a boost if the HEROES Act were passed. Nobody's talking about essential workers, which would be good if the HEROES Act would get passed. The reason it would be good that nobody's talking about essential workers is because if nobody's talking about essential workers and the HEROES Act passes, then the essential worker section slides by without getting amended. Essential workers get a $13 per hour pay bump up to $10,000 unless they're a highly paid essential worker, and they would get up to a $5,000 pay bump. However, not hearing about essential workers is bad if the HEROES Act does not pass, which right now, it does not look like the HEROES Act is going to pass. We've heard Mitch McConnell over the last few days say that he is planning on drafting his own bill, and he's already working on it, and he's planning on releasing that within the next couple weeks. He did say that that is a starting point, so what he releases will be a starting point. But we're not hearing anything from Republicans on essential workers right now, which is a little bit disappointing. So no guarantees. Hopefully we see something for essential workers, but right now we have not seen anything regarding essential workers. But we do have that good news on stimulus checks, which I think a lot of us have to agree with Donald Trump, like him or not. $1,200 stimulus check this far along in this pandemic, almost kind of like a drop in the bucket. It should be larger. But let's move on to what the Federal Reserve said. So, Fed Reserve President of the Fed Reserve Bank of St. Louis, that is Mr. Bolton, was interviewed on CNBC, and he stated regarding unemployment, his expectation is actually more bullish than what other presidents of the Federal Reserve are thinking. He thinks you could, quote, get into the single digits, maybe even below 8 or 7% by the end of the year in terms of unemployment. This is what he calls his base case scenario. He is optimistic by default, but he does say that yes, things could get worse and there is downside risk, but we are in transition and of course things can go badly. But this Federal Reserve president actually thinks we are in, quote, good shape right now. Now, this is pretty heavily in contrast from what we've been hearing from central bankers, from bankers themselves, from economists, where everybody has been pushing for more stimulus. This is probably our first holdout at the Fed who's saying, maybe things are improving, which I don't know. It seems kind of hard when you look at restaurants and hotels and retail and travel. I don't think things are improving at all. And there are still many, many Americans unemployed right now. But anyway, let's get into Donald Trump's clip. I did just want to mention this because when we see kind of these turning points at the Fed and somebody becoming more optimistic, it's something to pay attention to, because if all of the economists become optimistic, it will affect stimulus and the future of stimulus, probably in a negative way. Let's get into this clip right here.
Can Americans expect more stimulus checks from you?
The answer is yes. We're working on it right now with Congress.
President Trump told me in a one-on-one interview that more direct payments are on the way, but could not say how much. House Democrats have already approved a bill with another $1,200, but the president said he wants to aim higher.
I want more than other people want to do, but it'll be significant numbers, great for the people of our country.
The president said one priority in the next round of coronavirus relief is not up for negotiation. That's a tax cut. The president is insisting on a payroll tax cut that would make paychecks larger, but reduce funding for government programs like Social Security and Medicare. You would veto something if it didn't include a payroll tax cut?
If it didn't include what we think we need for the economy and for jobs, I would absolutely veto it, yes.
Now, I was honestly surprised that she kind of cut the interview there multiple times and said, oh, then Donald Trump said this. It would have been nice if we would have just had that whole clip available, which we don't. But hey, I guess these are the bottom lines we can take away, which is good news. We've got confirmation in response to asking, should Americans expect another stimulus check? Donald Trump said, the answer is yes. We're working on it right now with Congress. We don't know how big, we don't know how much, and we don't know when. So we still have unanswered questions, but at least this is good news in the meantime. And hey, if we're able to couple this next round of stimulus with an improving economy, maybe, just maybe, we can go back to normal. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Make sure to get your life insurance in the link down below. Get your 2 free stocks with Webull when you deposit $100. And folks, we will see you next time.